In this video, we're going to take a look at a shimmering purple ink by Diamine Lilac Satin. Now, as always, there's timestamps down below so you can skip around, but if you've got the time, I'd appreciate you checking out the entire video. Also down in the description is a link to the purple ink playlist, so if you wanted to see more, you can find that there. I'm an ink guy, and let's get into the first writing sample done on 90 GSM Clairfontaine. No bleeding, no ghosting. I've worked out the lighting. I think that in the future I know all of the adjustments to make, which now will haunt me forever for having said that. We have no feather, spread, halo, sheen. We do get some shading in the extra fine, even in the medium. Now the extra fine's a lot lighter than the stub, while the medium's about the same tone as the stub. Extra fine took 9 seconds to dry and the medium took 15. Scrubby for both do show some color variation, and we definitely get it in the writing. Smear test you could definitely recover if you smeared while you were writing. To have a range of experience with this ink, all of the writing samples are done with a Jinhao 159 with a 1.1 stub, a Jinhao X450 with a medium, and a Jinhao X750 with an extra fine. Then a Levenger True Writer with a broad nib was inked up, used for a day, and used to take the notes for this video. The next writing sample is done on 52 GSM Tomoe River. We have no bleeding and no ghosting. No focus. Focus, man. I'm trying, but I'm distracted. We have no feathers, spread, halo, sheen. We actually get little spots of shading here in the extra fine, not so much in the medium or the stub. The extra fine took 13 seconds to dry, while the medium took 22. Both incredibly respectable on this paper. Scrubby for both give no color variation, but it is there in the extra fine. Smear test says you can't recover if you smear while you're writing. I agree with Vita. There's a lot to learn by doing multiple chromatographies, so start doing multiples. The one on the left is done the way it's supposed to be done. A line of ink is put down, and then it's put in the water for 10 to 15 seconds. And we see the silver shimmer really there on the bottom, and a light purple pushing its way up, but across the top there's a bright blue. That's where our shading's coming from. Now the one on the right is let dry for 10 minutes before it's dunked in the water, and you see the shimmer on the line. You see a purple really around it. So that purple is showing that it might be a little bit of a holdout color. Now the purple pushes up, and we're not really seeing the blue in this one. So it's covering it up, or it stayed. We may have a bit of resistance here. The next writing sample is done on 80 GSM Rhodia dot pad. No bleeding, no ghosting. We get no feather, spread, halo, sheen, but look at the extra fine where you do get some shading in the writing. You actually do get some in the medium when you look at words like quick and fox. So it's still there, just not in the stub. Extra fine took 9 seconds to dry, while the medium took 17. I almost said 19. I'm a moron. Caffeinated. Scrubby for both show some color variation. There is some in the writing, and a smear test you could recover if you smeared while you were writing. Resistance tests are done to see how this ink can be expected to perform on the page, and more importantly, how hard it may be to clean from your pen. The smear is allowed to dry for 3 days before testing it. Looking at the highlighter, you could use this in a note-taking situation. It's holding out pretty darn well, so I haven't had that a ton on the shimmering inks. Now, water is reactivating and lifting some, but not a ton of this ink. Neither is the pen flush, and the 1/3 bleach solution does completely obliterate it, which might make you worried and beg the question, what did I have to use to get this out of that pen? I like that Levenger. Well, it only took water for me to get it out of my pen because Diamine inks are really friendly for your pens. The next writing sample is done on original Crown Mill paper. We have no bleeding, no ghosting. We get no feather, spread, halo, sheen. Only a little bit of shading shows itself in the extra fine, which is quite a bit lighter than the stub, while the medium's the same tone as the stub. The extra fine took 8 seconds to dry, and the medium took 13 seconds to dry. The scrubby for both don't show any color variation, although we do get a little in the extra fine, and the smear test you could recover if you smeared while you were writing. For the inks tested, the average viscosity was 2.5, with the realm of normal being from 2.1 to 2.9. Diamine's Lilac Satin has a viscosity of 1.72, so it is a wet ink, which you would expect with the shimmers. If you're interested in how the viscosity tests and all that's done, then down in the description is a link to that video. Now let's take a look at White Lines paper. We only have a couple of deeper bleed spots up here, which I believe is a stub. Nothing with the extra fine or the medium. It really did very well there for a non-fountain pen paper. We get no feather spread, halo sheen. We do get some spots of shading with the extra fine. Very nice. Again, not really a fountain pen friendly paper. The extra fine's lighter than the stub, and the medium's the same tone as the stub. Extra fine took 2 seconds to dry, and the medium took 6. Now, the scrubby of the extra fine shows a tiny bit of color variation, so does the medium. But the medium has none in the writing, and the smear test you could definitely recover if you smeared while you were writing. For the inks tested, the average dry time is 17 seconds, and the realm of normal is 13 to 21 seconds. Diamine's Lilac Satin has an average dry time of 14 seconds, so it is normal. The last writing sample is done on Franklin Christoph paper. No bleeding, no ghosting. We get no feather, spread, halo sheen, a few spots that are darker in the writing in the extra fine, nothing in the medium or stub. Extra fine is a little bit lighter than the stub, and the medium's the same tone as that stub. Extra fine took 6 seconds to dry, while the medium took 9, and the scrubby of the extra fine shows the color variation that we got. The medium shows none when we got none. Smear test you could probably recover if you smeared while you were writing. Instead of finding inks that look like Diamine's Lilac Satin, I'd prefer to find an ink that complements its color on the page. I decided to go with a black ink and not draw any attention away from this. I went with Elixir Black. Now, if you prefer a different complement color, then down in the description is links to those playlists. So what do I think of this shimmering ink Lilac Satin? This shades well, and the shimmer doesn't cover it up. I think this shimmer works well with this color of the ink. Without shimmer, the ink looks good, so they didn't cover up a bad ink with glitter. Awesome. So what nib and pen are going to give the best writing experience with this ink? Wet and broad. Insert your own joke there. I hope you got something out of this video, and in the next video, we're going to take a look at KWZ's Brown No. 3. Now, if you're sitting here watching me, you're one of the few people that actually watches a whole lot of these videos. If you weren't aware, this is the 1000th ink review. I can't believe I've made it this far. If you made it this far, and if you've watched a bunch of those videos, let me know down in the comments. It really does make me feel better to know that some people are watching this. Thank you for 1000 videos.